The message is read. No reply. Minutes pass. Hours pass. Nothing feels chaotic, but nothing moves either. There's no urgency, no panic, no decision. Just a quiet internal shift. Something has entered the system, and it hasn't reached the exit yet. This is why INTPs delay emotional responses when something meaningful happens. Not because they don't care, not because they're unsure about you, not because they're playing games or withholding intentionally, but because TI doesn't react, it verifies. When emotional input arrives, most people experience it and respond simultaneously. The feeling itself pushes outward. Words follow sensation. INTPs don't work that way. For them, emotion enters as raw data, unformatted, unstable, and incomplete. Before it can be expressed, it must be understood. And understanding takes time. From the outside, the delay looks like disinterest, or avoidance, or emotional unavailability. But internally, the opposite is happening. The INTP isn't pulling away. They're pulling the experience inward. Silence doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means everything is happening, just not where you can see it. You open up. You say something personal, uncertain, or emotionally exposed. The INTP reads it. Then, nothing. No immediate reassurance. No emotional mirroring. No visible response. What's happening internally is not confusion about you. It's analysis of the signal. TI immediately asks, what exactly is being expressed here? Is this fear, sadness, trust, expectation? What is being asked of me, explicitly or implicitly? What would an accurate response actually be? The INTP is not searching for comforting words. They're trying to understand the structure of the emotion. Until they know what it is, they won't respond to what it feels like. There's tension, a misunderstanding, a moment where emotion spikes. Many people move toward repair immediately. INTPs often move into stillness. Not because they don't care about resolution, but because conflict introduces variables. Tone, assumptions, unspoken expectations, potential contradictions. TI isolates each variable before acting. If they respond too quickly, they risk responding to the wrong thing. So they pause. And in that pause, they're not distancing. They're preventing distortion. Affection lands differently for INTPs. When someone expresses care, interest, or emotional closeness, it creates internal pressure, not to reciprocate, but to be precise. They don't want to say something that doesn't align with what they truly feel. They don't want to mirror emotion they haven't stabilized internally yet. So they wait. Not to avoid intimacy, but to make sure their response is real. To an INTP, automatic emotion feels dishonest. Accuracy feels respectful. Introverted thinking processes internally, silently, and non-linearly. When emotion enters the system, it doesn't move outward. It moves downward. It gets broken into components. Named. Examined. Reassembled. This process has no visible markers. There is no facial expression. No behavioral cue. No external signal that progress is being made. But internally, the system is active. Emotion is being converted into something stable enough to stand behind. Until that happens, expression feels premature, even unsafe. From the outside, the delay feels disproportionate. You shared something emotional, and hours or days passed. But from the INTP's internal perspective, time isn't measured in minutes. It's measured in completion. Has the emotion been understood? Has it settled into coherence? Can it be expressed without distortion? If the answer is no, time keeps passing. This is why pressure often backfires. When an INTP is pushed to respond before internal clarity forms, one of two things happens. They withdraw further, or they respond with something flat, minimal, or unsatisfying. Not because they don't care, but because the process was interrupted. Emotion arrives. External world goes quiet. Internal world becomes busy. Response emerges later, clearer, calmer, more grounded. This isn't situational behavior. It's structural. INTPs don't delay some emotions. They delay all emotions that matter. Quick responses are reserved for low-stakes interactions. High-stakes emotions demand internal verification. Most relational damage with INTPs doesn't come from lack of feeling. It comes from misinterpreting timing. People assume if they cared, they would respond immediately. If they felt the same, they wouldn't need time. If they're silent, something is wrong. For INTPs, silence usually means something is right, important enough to be processed carefully. The tragedy is that both sides feel misunderstood. One feels ignored. The other feels rushed. Healthy growth for an INTP does not mean reacting faster. It means learning to signal the pause. Saying explicitly or implicitly, "I've received this. I'm processing. I'm not gone." This single shift transforms silence from absence into containment. For the other person, it restores safety. For the INTP, it preserves integrity. What the delay really signals. When an INTP delays emotionally, it often signals respect for the weight of the moment, desire for accuracy over performance, commitment to responding truthfully. The response may arrive late, but when it does, it's rarely casual. It's considered, it's aligned. It's intentional. Integration, not correction. INTPs don't need to be fixed. Their emotional timing doesn't need to be corrected. What needs integration is translation. Understanding that silence is not emptiness. That pause is not absence. That delay is not dismissal. For INTPs, emotion doesn't disappear in silence, it assembles. So the real question isn't why INTPs take time, but whether you can recognize meaning before it speaks.